Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly pop culture wrap-up. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly pop culture wrap-up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it. The coronavirus outbreak. We all know about this. Well, it's really put a hindrance to a lot of comic shops even operating normal business hours and stuff like that. In some areas of the world, comic shops have been forced to close down. In other areas, they're able to be open, but maybe they got smaller hours. They're putting some of their workers on furlough. It's a difficult time right now for small business, whether it's a comic book shop or it's a restaurant or a bar or another bookstore or anything like that, right? So with the economic troubles that the outbreak has brought with all the social distancing and people not really wanting to come out, most shops are doing curbside pickup, they're doing delivery, they're doing shipping, all that stuff and more. So if you still want to find your comics, definitely look into that. There are a lot of shops still offering services in those social distancing type ways, and I think that's super cool. A lot of the industry has gotten together to try to help local comic shops as we try to ride this one on out. Marvel is offering deeper discounts to retailers. Vault, Aftershock, Valiant, Boom Studios, Oni Press, and a whole bunch of others. They're actually starting to delay some of their production schedule. Therefore, we won't have as many comic books coming out over the next few months, which could actually be something that would hurt a local comic shop with very small business and a lot of products. So lots of changes in the air over the next couple months, so just keep your eyes open and everybody be safe. Let's move on to some news though. Vault Comics, let's talk about them. In June, they got Engine Ward, which is a brand new one from George Mann and Joe Eisma. This one sounds interesting. It's about Earth is like a relic of the past. It's kind of this forgotten thing, and there's this like tribe of celestial beings or something like that, and one of them unravels a mystery that brings a lot of their own past into question, right? I don't know, but it's from Vault and it sounds cool. It looks cool. I'm excited about this one. Also from Vault Comics, they're doing a Vampire the Masquerade comic book. It's pretty much one of their first licensed books, I believe. So this one's going to be written by Tim Seeley, Teenie Howard, Blake Howard, with artwork by Devmalia Pardmanek and Nathan Gooden. I was never a super huge Vampire the Masquerade fan, but I'm a super huge Vault fan and a Vampire fan, so I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I really like that cover. Feels like old school Vertigo. Web of Spider-Man is debuting in June because, like Marvel knows, the one thing we want more than anything is another Spider-Man book. This one, Web, is web dot, like W.E.web, right? So it's an abbreviation for Worldwide Engineering Brigade. I don't know, Tony Stark creates this new thing for like young people, young engineers, and he puts Spider-Man in charge of it. This might be something that spins out of the whole Outlawed story. I don't know. I mean, it's written by Kevin Shanique with artwork by Roberto DeSalvo. The last thing we need is another Spider-Man book. But whatever, it's coming. America Chavez, Made in the USA, is going to be a 5-issue miniseries debuting in June from Marvel. It's going to be written by Kalinda Vazquez with Carlos Gomez on the artwork. America's a cool character. She's never 100% sold me. I've never really read something that was just, it was a must read, but it's an interesting character, and I'm excited to see another attempt to put her in her own book. New Warriors. So we knew New Warriors was coming, and now we have been introduced to the New Warriors, and it's caused a lot of stuff online, right? You know, so we got the characters Safe Space and Snowflake, Trailblazers, Screen Time, and B Negative. B Negative to me looks cool. I like the vampire character. That's really neat. And really a lot of people are kind of on it being like, oh, they're just trying to be woke. They're trying to appeal to Zoomers. They're trying to blah, blah, blah. It looks cheesy. It looks dumb. I'll tell you what. And my own personal thoughts on this. Snowflake, Safe Space. I mean, seriously, it's a little on the nose, but whatever. I said this on a live stream this week. And I'm a huge New Warriors fan, so I'm going to read it regardless because it's got Night Thrasher in it. I'm a big Night Thrasher fan, so keep thrashing, right? But I can imagine, you know, I'm like almost 40 years old now, and I'm looking at him like that seems a little silly. But that's not who this book's made for. The book's not made for a 40-year-old guy who's been reading comics his whole life. New Warriors has never been about that. New Warriors has always tried to be fresh, young, hip, and cool. So I think that's what they're trying to do here. Is it appropriate? I don't know. Is it going to be good? I don't know, but I'm excited to read it and check it out. I can only say that back in 1990 or 89 or whatever, when the New Warriors got announced, somebody my age probably would have looked at the descriptions of Night Thrasher and Speedball and probably would have been like, that's pretty dumb and silly. So I don't know. I always do a wait and see approach. I'm always excited about a new Warriors book. It's not going to last long. They rarely do. Only the first series really went for any substantial amount of time. But I'm excited to check it out, and we can talk more about it live tonight on Rockin Robbie Live. Infinite Destinies is going to be a story that's going to span a bunch of annuals throughout the summer from Marvel Comics. This is all focused on those Infinity Stones that have now merged with people, like Star, for instance, from the Captain Marvel book, has the Reality Stone, so that's what it's going to be kind of about. There's going to be an Iron Man annual, Captain America, Thor, Black Cat, Avengers, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know. I used to love it back in the day when they would do those stories that would go across annuals, like Atlantis Attacks or the Evolutionary War and stuff like that. I loved it, ate it up. But I just don't know if I'm down for something like that nowadays. But we shall see what happens. But it seems like, especially since the end of Infinity, it seems like since the Infinity Stones and or gems have become more known in the public conscious, it seems like Marvel's has not been able to really do much with them. Every kind of Infinity-related story since Jonathan Hickman's Infinity, I thought was kind of a dud. So we'll see what happens, right? Speaking of annuals, Ghost Rider Annual in June brings back Vengeance, the fan favorite character from the 90s. I'm super excited for this one. It's written by Ed Brisson, but it's co-written by Howard Mackie. Howard Mackie, of course, was the writer of that 90s Ghost Rider series. That's super, super cool. It's got artwork, by the way, from Javier Saltares. Over at Dark Horse, they're doing a Disney Villains series. It's going to be a series of one-shots focusing in on the origins of certain Disney villains. The first one's going to be Ursula. That's really, really cool. And I actually probably will read this because Ursula is one of the most badass Disney villains out there. Not the most badass. One of the most badass, I should say. And Archie meets Flash Gordon this June, courtesy of Jeff Parker and Dan Parent. It's a no-brainer. If Archie's meeting some other figure from pop culture, whether it's the Punisher, or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Kiss, or the B-52s, or Predator, I'm always going to check it out. I think that stuff is super, super nifty. We're also talking about the coronavirus affecting comic shops. It's also affected movie theaters, of course. A lot of movie theaters have shut down. And in response, because also we talked last week, a lot of movies have been delayed from their release dates, and a lot of productions have stopped. Pretty much any movie in production, any television show has been halted right now. But a bunch of these movies that have been recently released in theaters are now hitting video on demand. We're talking Bloodshot, Birds of Prey, Invisible Man, and Onward. In a bold move, Disney's actually going to put Onward on Disney Plus in April. I think that's really cool. Definitely something to help the populace as we are in self-quarantine, as we're forced not to go out, not to go on with our regular lives. Movies, comic books, art, it's a big deal, right? And so I love that the industries have come together, coming up with new and interesting ways to deliver that product to people and kind of have a sense of normalcy just a little bit throughout all of this. And probably the most exciting news, Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Ahsoka? Is it Ahsoka or Ahsoka? It's Ahsoka. It's Ahsoka, right? Yeah. Anyway, Mandalorian Season 2, rumors are saying, not completely confirmed, Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka. It's been a while since I've watched Clone Wars. Anyway, a fan favorite character, a great character, even though I can't necessarily pronounce her name correctly. But Dawson would be great for the role. She's always wanted to do it. I think it's neat. Give the fans what they want. Mandalorian has been probably the highlight of Star Wars over the last 20, 30 years. But so I think that's really cool, and I hope that this is true. I think she would do a hell of a job. So that's what we got for you this week. What we got coming up here at PCP? Well, tonight, Rockin Robbie Live, 7 p.m. Central Time. Be here. Let's chat about comic books, movies, television, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We've been doing more live streams here lately, so be on the lookout for that. Right now, for instance, I'm expecting to do a live stream Monday night with Chad from 90MF Comics. I believe that will be over at his channel. Tuesday night, I'll be working on the weekly comic book review. That will release Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Wednesday night, I'll be revealing my top 10 comic books of the week live again, just to kind of keep in touch. Thursday night, me, Brooks, and Jelani are going live with a big spoiler-filled discussion about the direction of the X-Men books, and we're getting into it. We're going to have a lot of fun. All that and more. So definitely we are going to continue to provide content here. I'm going to keep going live just to chat with y'all, touch base, see how everything is going. But don't forget, tonight's the hypest live stream ever, Rockin Robbie Live, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on keeping on.